Better Minecraft is a mod pack that adds tons of new items with cool features, dungeons with new bosses, and even places to explore, including new dimensions. In these 100 days, I'm going to be trying to get the best gear possible, kill all the new bosses, and explore all the biomes have to offer. Without further ado, this is Better Minecraft. Day 0 began like any other Minecraft world, seeing a random death marker of mine under the map. Anyways, I ended up going out and collecting all of my beginner quest items, and then grabbing some wood. I then crafted up my first wooden pickaxe and decided to use it to dig down to where the death marker was, and it disappeared before I got there. Oh, it disappeared. I then used the cobblestone from my excursion down to craft up my first stone tools. Shortly after, I opened my map and saw there were 4 structures nearby and decided to go see if I could explore any of them. Walking through the building, there seemed to really just be a bunch of bookshelves and a few chests with nothing too good in it. So I grabbed the bed and went upstairs where there were a bunch of allays. After collecting some books, I went to go hunt down some rabbits I saw on my map so I could hopefully get rabbit's hide and craft a backpack. Once I kill enough of them, I can get a backpack, which means that I have a backpack. Come on. Yeah, I didn't get any. The next thing I did was place my bed down because I did want to try to challenge whatever this weird purple building was, but it's okay because I could just build up. What was that? What just hit me? Was it him? Oh, he shield bashed me. Oh! I just got smacked. Anyways, after that, I just decided to grab my loot and go back. I think I was just bored, but it was worth it because when I went back, I actually found a few pieces of iron I could use. I decided to leave and found 2 blocks of raw iron under this gravestone. Iron? Oh, that's actually gonna be really helpful. And headed over to a house I saw where I decided I'd smelt up some wood for charcoal, and then use the charcoal to smelt up some food and my iron. And then I finished off day 0 by going to sleep. It's the end of day 0, I guess. On day 1, I set off to explore because I wanted to find a base location. While exploring, I stumbled across a destroyed home, which had a bunch of wheat and Morris. Right after leaving the destroyed house, I ended up falling into a cave which happened to have some coal in. Leaving the cave, I found a house that this time wasn't destroyed, but it really didn't have much in it. And then I carried on and ended up finding a shipwreck along with 3 different villager ships. In the first chest, I found a couple more pieces of iron, and in the second chest, I found a treasure map. Buried treasure map. Heading off to find the buried treasure, I actually started off going in the complete wrong direction. In doing so though, I stumbled across this weird house that was sitting on top of the water. After looking through the house for a second, I realized I was heading the wrong direction and went back the opposite way so I could find the buried treasure. When I got to the X, I remembered a trick where you put your last block coordinate to 9 and then dig down to find the buried treasure. When I found it, it contained some iron, gold, a diamond, some fish, and a heart of the sea. With the treasure in hand, I walked over and found a pillager outpost. But it's a little early to do any of that. The next thing I stumbled across was a suspiciously dome-shaped piece of land, so I dug down into it and actually found a little base. But I then realized there was a staircase leading down into it. Oh, well, I could have just... The next structure I found was a safe haven, which actually had a couple sets of armor, including an iron one, which I gladly took. And then I headed back off as day 1 came to a close. Day 2 began with me stumbling into a forgotten forest. This will be important later. And then a little bit later, I found another small villager house. This is cool. Anyways, I just went back to exploring until I eventually stumbled across a giant pillager mansion. So I decided to break some of the windows and try to collect a little bit of loot until I got too greedy and went in and died. Oh, that was my cue to leave. Spawning back in the first bed I slept in, I had a really long ways to go to get my loot back. So that's what I did for pretty much the rest of the day and the night of day 2. The morning of day 3 began with me finally getting back and getting my revenge on the pillager that killed me. How do you like getting axed, huh? Once he was dead, I could grab my loot. With my loot in hand, I decided that it would be too early to explore the structure, but I swore I would come back. But right when I was about to just go off in some random direction, I actually ended up seeing a village on my map, and with a clear goal in mind, I crafted up a boat and started to head up the river towards the village. Upon arriving at the village, I decided to walk around for a minute before I saw this weird purple creature in the water. And being a self-proclaimed marine biologist, I went to go... get a closer look, and then I ended up drowning. Thankfully though, this time I was actually smart enough to place my bed down before I went and did this. Since I didn't want to waste too much time, I quickly grabbed my loot and claimed the waystone before heading back off. Literally seconds later though, I saw a blue version of the purple guy I just killed. So I drank my water breathing potion, set my bed down, and went out to go give him a friendly welcome. Later into the night, I stumbled across a mushroom village, and inside of one of the first barrels I opened, I found a diamond sword. So knowing there could be some reasonable loot, I decided to make it my life's goal to clear this place out. And this carried on into day 4 until I got a little bit too greedy. And realizing that I had just done all of that for absolutely no more loot, I decided it was time to head off. Back journeying to find my base location, I headed off by boat and ended up coming across a ship that a villager had lived on. After ransacking the few things he owned, I kept going until I ended up in a swamp biome. And then I kept going. Leaving the swamp biome, the first thing I came across was a random perfect looking tree on a perfect looking piece of land. And then I came across a skyrise vale, which is actually a pretty cool biome with these pink and blue trees. As night began to fall on day 4, I found an enderman, trapped him in a boat, and killed him, and actually did get a pearl. Shortly after, I stumbled across a village. And after looking around for a little bit, it seemed like this village didn't have a waystone. So I carried on until I got to this weird pillager tower. So of course, before going in, I set my spawn because I learned from the old pillager mansion. Heading in, I quickly realized that they weren't too friendly, dying not once, not twice. Oh, actually, yeah, twice. Anyways, I then decided to head up the tower. At the top of the tower, there was an evoker who I killed for his totem, and then while leaving, I died to a vet to finish off day 4. On day 5, I decided to head down into the cellar. The drop was definitely the way down. The cellar was this really large labyrinth that contained a bunch of pillagers every corner I turned. What the hell? What? Oh my. After dying, I headed back down, avenged myself, and found a chest with a few diamonds in it. Oh wow, I was about to say nothing, or... Oh crap, oh my god, that actually jump scared me. He hit me? Oh, I'm dead. Yeah. Puppy guarding much? Here's what's gonna happen. Bring him in here, bring him in here. Oh! Oh my god! Just as fast as me? Anyways, I decided for how much I was dying that it wasn't worth it, so I just headed up. On day 6, I decided to head underground and start mining. Or I just go mining now. Shortly after going underground, I kept stumbling upon tons of diamonds. And after mining for a few minutes, I came across a trial chamber, which I've never seen before, so I decided to explore it. Inside the trial chamber, I was getting these keys, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them yet or save them for later, so I just decided to save them just in case. Another thing I noticed was that there was tons of pottery scattered around that kept giving me good materials like emeralds and iron. Carrying on, there was this really cool room with a platform hanging above lava with a slime spawner on, which I made quick work of. Oh, it's big slime! I also came across the breeze for my first time in a trial chamber. Oh my! Later in the trial chamber, I crafted up my first diamond pickaxe and chest plate, and then put protection 3 on the chest plate. And then shortly after, my first diamond legging. And I think I was approaching the end of the trial chamber when I was coming across iron golem spawners. Assuming that I'd pretty much completed the trial chamber, I went down and grabbed some obsidian before making a waystone. And then I TP'd out to finish off day 7. Trial chamber. We have here. Day 8, I headed into the Weeping Witch Forest because I wanted to find a place to set my base down, and I thought this would be what I was looking for. But then I realized that I actually wanted to live in a forgotten forest and backtracked all the way to where I came from on day 2 and started to set up a little base. Right under my base, I found a lava pool, so I decided to put some water on it and grab some obsidian for an enchantment table and waystone. What actually harmed me? Day 9 began with me breaking gravel to try to get some flint so I could make fletching tables. Fletching table. Where's the other gravel? Once I had a couple crafted up, I decided to place down my enchantment table and the bookshelves I would need to get to a level 30 enchantment. TPing to the village, I decided to break a bunch of the villagers' jobs and then put down fletching tables so they would actually go to. Once I had 2 fletchers, I headed into the nearby spruce forest and broke a bunch of trees so I could get sticks to trade for emeralds and XP. With a full inventory of logs, I headed back to the village and went to sleep. Why are you all just hanging out in here? Day 10 began with me going around breaking a bunch more villager jobs. And then I went and traded a bunch of the logs I got on day 9. And this continued for a little while. At least until I went into another creative world to try to find something called Daysite. I think that's how you say it. Which I wanted to use to build my base. And after some searching, I realized you could find it in a skyrise vale, which I actually had right next to my base. So I went ahead and collected a bunch of it, not long before heading back to my base, and then my dragon hatched. What the? Oh. It's my dragon. Yeah, I had no clue how to tame this thing. I wasn't recording. So while I wasn't recording, I built the frame in my house. And then I spent a little while actually building up the Daysite walls. Get out of my base! And then I looked it up and realized that I can tame my dragon by feeding it fish. Shortly after, I went inside my actually built base now and started to put down chests. Day 12 began in my base with me putting down pretty much the rest of the chests. Shortly after, I realized I was level 28 and wanted to enchant, so I TP'd to the village and traded away the rest of my logs. Then I decided to turn a villager into an armorer so I could use some of the emeralds I had collected. And that's pretty much what I did for the rest of the day. Day 13 began with me fully unlocking a set of diamond armor from an armorer. Alright, now I got a helmet, and that's a full set of diamond. And then trading my last few sticks before heading back to my base. Back at the base, I enchanted my second diamond pickaxe, getting efficiency 4 and unbreaking 3. Then I used the rest of my XP rolling enchantments to hopefully get fortune 3. When I didn't get it, I went mining, and then went back up to enchant, and hopefully get... Nope, didn't get it. When I didn't get it, I decided to go back to the village and trade with one of my armors so I could get a bunch more XP. Anyways, at some point, I guess I got a fortune 3 pickaxe and combined it with the efficiency 4 on breaking 3 and vein mining to get a pretty solid pickaxe. But that took up pretty much all of my XP, so I took that pickaxe underground, collected a bunch of obsidian, and built a nether portal. With the nether portal built, I went over to the nearby river, collected a bunch of gravel in hopes to get some, what's it called? Flint, obviously, so I could light it. Heading into the nether, my spawn was incredible. I spawned next to a ruined portal, a nether tower, nether fortress, and another structure. Heading into the nether tower first, I collected a waystone and a few diamonds from the chest at the top. And then I explored into the soul forge. Heading inside the soul forge, it looked like there would be a boss fight, but I wasn't sure yet. And after staring at this big rock for a while, I jumped a little too close. That's a gear. That's a boss, that's a boss, that's a boss. It would not be crazy to assume. After running away from the netherite monstrosity, I decided to head into the nether fortress. In doing so, I was immediately granted with an aether dragon egg. But I really didn't explore the fortress that much because I immediately came across a blaze spawner and obviously collected all the blaze rods I would need for the dragon. Blaze rods in hand, I headed back to the overworld, placed down the aether dragon egg, and began to hatch it. And I don't know if this is a bug or not, but throughout the 100 days, every time I placed a dragon egg and started to hatch it, it would just disappear until it would hatch. Anyways, I quickly realized that throughout my almost 10 years of Minecraft, I have never gone to the Aether before. At least I'm pretty sure. So I went to the nether and grabbed up some glowstone and built the Aether portal next to my nether portal. Holy bright. And then I headed into the Aether just to look around for a minute. Alright. Let's see it. Dang. Before leaving and going to sleep to finish off day 15. Day 16 started off with me emptying out my inventory and then trading. I did a lot of trading. And when I wasn't trading, I was collecting items to trade. Oh yeah, I also enchanted my diamond boots with protection 4. And went back to chopping trees at the village before going to sleep. Day 17 began with me surprisingly continuing to trade, but this time I was actually trading for a protection 2 chest piece and leggings, which I would then go back to my base and combine until I couldn't. 7. And I decided to get the XP I needed to combine the chest pieces. I would just go and trade. So I went and chopped down a bunch of trees before going to sleep to finish off day 17. Day 18 started off with me trading all the wood I'd collected the day prior, and then I found out I could put arrows into my sidebar. Oh, I can put arrows in arrow slots? Okay, yeah, I'll gladly do that. And at level 23, I headed back to the base and combined the chest plates to get protection 4. Prop 4 chest plates. And then I started to combine power 1 bows. And since I ran out of XP and couldn't combine any more bows, I headed back to the spruce forest to chop down more trees and actually almost died. 1000%. And right after almost dying, I ran out of food. But after filling my inventory from logs, I stole a hay bale from this horse, crafted up some wheat, healed, and then went to trade my sticks, which gave me enough XP to combine another set of bows. This time when I ran out of XP, I decided to just disenchant some of the extra armor I had because I was so close to level 7. And then I finally got a power 4 bow. And I finally decided to do something about my food problem by taking my dragon out and killing a bunch of cows. On day 19, I cooked up the steak I had collected the day prior and then went to go tame the dragon that I hatched. The next place I found myself was back at the village trying to get a weaponsmith. And then when I realized I didn't have any coal to trade, I headed over to a nearby cave to hopefully find some. There we go. Coal, anyone? There we go. And then when I got back, I traded up a bunch of coal and iron to level him up before it got late and I went to sleep. Day 20 began with me being AFK and then trading for a few minutes before going back to my base, getting on my dragon, and heading off to find the end portal. Once I got to where the end portal was, I dug down and found some diamonds. so that's nice.
Yep.
And then I continued going until I got to the actual portal itself. At the portal, I crafted up the 11 eyes I needed and went ahead and placed them in the frame. And then I went ahead and jumped in the portal. I'm ready. Oh my god, I'm at the... On the spawn platform, I dug up to the main island. This is the mod pack. This is the texture pack with the black hole. That's so cool. After admiring the black hole in the sky, it was time to fight the dragon. Your time has come, Ender Dragon. A little higher. And I know this boss fight doesn't seem very significant right now, but don't worry because they just get crazier as the video goes on. That's it, right there. No. Come on. There it is. Ender Dragon has been defeated. With the dragon dead, I quickly collected the egg, because I wanted to know if I could hatch it. With the egg in hand, I quickly hopped in the portal and spawned back in the village, which thankfully wasn't too far away from where I parked my dragon. Anyways, I hopped on my dragon and headed back to my base, and I decided it was finally time to at least get a little bit more work done with my actual base. Day 20 started off with me building a little bit more of my base's roof, and then taming the ender dragon I had hatched. After that, I was back to working on my base for a few minutes. Oh, like right here. You know, just like a pillar to pillar, like... Before I wanted to enchant a little bit more. After some more enchanting, I got a good sword, good boots, good leggings, and a really good pickaxe. And then I finished off the day with combining and repairing my pickaxes. Day 23 was really short, just consisting of me going underground and mining because I needed deep slate for my roof. Back at the surface, I just filled in my roof and added a spiral staircase up the tower. Spiral staircase. And that was literally it. Thankfully, day 24 had a little bit more going on because I wanted to finally go back into the nether and fight the netherite monstrosity. So I headed into the nether, jumped into the soul forge, and began the fight. Maybe he's not that hard to kill. It's so loud! Hold on. Does he do like a shit ton of damage if I get close? Oh my god, what the? I think I'm supposed to go up here to kill him. Oh my god, I definitely am. Holy crap. Is he Oh. He's stuck. Oh crap. Boy. I should have taken a fire resistance potion, the one I got earlier. Oh, there's a lot of lava. I gotta go down. I don't even know where to go. What the? It's actually pretty cool. He's down in the back. He's down in the floor with me. Come on, fight me, boy. Oh, he does some really cool attacks. Oh crap! Oh no. Just let me heal really quick. To deal with me. After killing him, he dropped the Infernal Forge, a monstrous horn, and some lava power cells. What is this? And I was unsure what to do with any of this besides the fact that the Infernal Forge was apparently a pickaxe. Jesus. What's this thing's damage? 13? Wait, I can mine with it? So I decided to explore the Soul Forge, and I found a room with a bunch of blast furnaces and grabbed them. and there was really nothing else inside of it, so I just headed back to the base. And at the base, I decided it was finally time to go into the far islands of the end, because I was getting pretty bored of the overworld, especially when there's so many other dimensions to explore. So I crafted up a waystone, and on the morning of day 25, went out to get some food for the journey. With the food cooked, I TP'd to the end portal and jumped in. After finding the portal to the outer islands, I went ahead and went in, and spawned next to this weird floating island. Sweet, and oh my god, what is that? Boating up to the island, there was both an enderman and a phantom spawner. What are the endermen gonna do, bro? Oh, phantoms. Great. Dang, bro, whoever was in the end was rich as hell. After finding some diamond tools and diamond weapons, I decided to just head off and explore the end a little more. I don't really want that. Now, I immediately stumbled upon some little spawner with a shulker box inside of it. Is that a shulker? Is this covering the... yeah. But both of those structures were pretty boring compared to this next temple that I went to. Heading inside, I kept getting slowed and penetrated by these purple pillars coming out of the floor. And then eventually I realized there was these purple trap blocks on the ground. But it was worth crossing the room because I found a few diamonds in this chest. Not even a minute later, I came across a mini boss in the structure, and since I was scared, I placed my waystone down and began to head over to it. Oh my god. He's railing me. There's no epic music for this one. Maybe it's a lot easier. I mean, it seems like he is. He's just kind of punching me and slapping me around. There we go. Yeah, that was pretty easy, especially for the fact that he was guarding a room with pretty decent loot in it. Bro, what kind of defense is this? Oh, that's a shulker. Oh, wow. In the center of the structure, I came across a shulker that was guarding 2 more chests with good loot, and then a doorway that led into an underground section, which I didn't even know was a thing. Should I be afraid? Oh, there's another one. Wait, what? Wait, are those the golems? There's more of them. And down on the lower level, I actually stumbled across a boss. This one was definitely a real boss. There's an altar. This is an actual boss fight again, I think. Jesus Christ! Remember that trap blocks there. That's a very important thing. Oh my gosh, this one's actually kind of scary. Can I TP out? No, not really. Come on, get me out of here. So low. I can't just finish. Okay, so come on. Just no way, I just died. No way I just died like that. You're joking. There's actually no way. He was one shot. So yeah, that was a pretty devastating fight. But it's really no problem because I could just TP back to the waystone and get back in and grab my loot. Let's do it. Alright, let's try again. Shit, he's in the way. Oh my god. Third time's the charm? Well, I actually got my stuff and decided I wasn't quite ready to fight this boss, so I just dug out the side. Leaving the structure, I stumbled across whatever this was. It's just 3 blocks floating with buttons on it, and I was more interested in that than the floating ship in the distance. Honestly, I should have just expected them to do nothing. I'm just kidding. Of course I headed over to the ship. On my way, I came across a house with stoves, a flipped over and crashed end ship, and another one of those temple structures, which I just decided to break into the loot room this time because I didn't feel like coming across any of those mini bosses again. And this time when I left, I actually came across a regular end ship, which I decided to set my sights on because an elytra would be really nice. We'll go up to that once we get the elytra, just because it'd be kind of hard to well, not hard, just time consuming to build up. Strangely enough, when I got to the end ship, I saw there was something else underneath it and decided that I would climb it because it looked pretty cool. So I'll just let this reaction play out for you. On top of it? What? Oh, there's a beacon on it. What? After grabbing the full diamond beacon, I built up the rest of the way to the end ship and got a warm welcome from a bunch of shulkers before I grabbed the elytra. It's already got Unbreaking 3 and Mending. This is a dream. I can have elytra and a... It's the best game ever. With the elytra on and some rockets in hand, I decided to embrace my inner Sea of Thieves player and head over to the other ship. What the? Which had wither skeletons fully armored with flame bows riding phantoms in a spawner. So I just decided to ignore them for now and head down into the loot room, which had some very good loot. Jesus! After collecting the loot, I began to backtrack because I lost my shulker box. But if you remember from earlier, I used it to build up and stim while playing with these floating buttons. But I paused the recording to go look back at the village, and then it restarts when I'm back at my base on day 29. Day 29 began with me killing a bunch of sheep because I wanted to make beds to go netherite mining, then I realized I could just use the vein mining on my pickaxe. Not a single netherite yet. There we go. Oh. And that's pretty much all I did for the rest of the day before trading with a goblin so I could get a little bit of extra netherite heading back to the base. On day 30, I decided to head into the nether and explore with my newfound elytra. And the main reason for this was because I had all this netherite but no netherite upgrades, so I couldn't even use it. But luckily, only after about 10 to 15 minutes of searching, I actually came across a bastion with the treasure room, which, you guessed it, had a netherite upgrade. I guess it still worked out though. After leaving the bastion, I came across a piglin brute spawner which had a few pieces of netherite just laying around. At this point, I'm really starting to think it might just be better to run around in the nether to collect netherite. And through the nether, it was just structure after structure because I immediately came across this weird crimson tower. Heading up the tower, there were just a bunch of chests and a blaze spawner. So I headed off until I came to a ship that was floating on the lava. Oh. Wow. Here. Yeah, the loot was pretty good, and this is everything I've collected from the journey so far. Right after, I came across an obsidian pillar, which I mined, and then found out it was full of netherite. And then I came across another piglin brute spawner. It's just one? The next actually interesting structure I came across was a withered black stone tower. Heading inside, there were wraithers and wither skeletons guarding a bunch of loot. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hello, boss. Mine. Ah, there were two on either side. Halfway up the tower, I placed my waystone down because my helmet was almost broken, and then I just TP'd back to my base and repaired it. Then I went to the top of the tower, mined the gold hoglin, and explored till I found a Herobrine shrine, and just decided that that's where I'd call the nether exploration for now. At the base, I turned all the netherite scraps into netherite ingots, and then smelted up the ancient debris. And then I spent some time duplicating the smithing template. And then I just spent a minute crafting up all of the types of netherite I would need to make my sword netherite diamond. Turn the iron one to a gold one. Away. Netherite iron, netherite gold, netherite emerald, netherite diamond, and that takes a lot of materials. Now that I had really good gear and armor, I decided to go to the village and trap a villager because I wanted to get mending on everything. So I just rolled enchantments, and it didn't take too long until I finally got mending. So I traded for a few of the books and went back to my base and put on my helmet and leggings. And then I made my helmet and leggings netherite. In debris. And remember the pillager mansion from earlier? Yeah, I decided to finally go back to that. I knew I was finally prepared because I could one-shot a lot of the pillagers. Yeah, they go floor by floor. We'll start here. The most obvious trap chest ever. Having enchanted books. Stop killing me! Maybe they're just too stupid to read. After exploring the entirety of the first floor, I decided to head into the cellar. The underground place. Oh, wow. I mean, I'll take it. Stop! There's like 20 of them. What the heck? Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing stands a chance. 20 pillagers might stand a chance against me, alright? Heading up, I found the center of the building. Wow. What the? This is kind of beautiful. After that, I decided that I'd seen it all and headed back to the place where I spawned to explore those structures. I was trying to loot this place with nothing. But neither of them really had anything, so I headed back to the base and went to sleep to finish off day 36. day 37, and I decided that now that I had an elytra, I could go into the Aether and explore. In the Aether, I saw some structure and decided to just head over to it. Inside, I found some chests with some strange items and then some Valkyries that kept spawning. And my immediate response was to attack them. I didn't know this at the time, but they're neutral. So I just kept going in and out, killing them one by one in hopes to finally clear the place out.
Netherite diamond.
But eventually, I just decided that they were too strong and headed off to find new structures, which is when I came across this amazing looking sky village.
Well, obviously I'm going there.
And it didn't really have any crazy loot, actually not really good loot at all, but it was a really cool place, so I just started exploring it for a little.
Wine.
After a little bit of exploring, I decided to fly out and land on top of the main structure to see what was up there, but I quickly realized it was just a bunch of these small tornadoes that sometimes spawn creepers. After exploring for a little, I looked at the quest log and decided to go look for a silver dungeon. And eventually when I found one, I dug in and the first chest I opened was a mimic.
I'm definitely overpowered for this though.
And then not even 2 rooms over, I found the boss. Slider.
Oh, wow. Do pickaxes do... Oh, I need to hit him with a pickaxe. Wait till he learns about diagonal movement. He'll be unbeatable. Oh, he's trying to kill me. What the hell? Oh, what the hell? Why is he angry? I'm gonna kill him very soon.
Once I killed the slider, it opened up a little room underneath him where I could collect the loot. And I had no clue what any of this was. And I decided to TP back to the base on the morning of day 39, where I would put all my loot away and then go mining.
Down into the trial chamber. -28. Maybe if I just go... Not even auto jump. It's like I could just walk up it. Everything you mine, just... Diamonds.
Back at the base from the mining trip, I crafted up a good bit of diamond blocks and an Eye of the Met. I then decided to work on my base a little bit more, where I would add a wooden floor and a roof. Or I guess ceiling. On day 40, I threw the Eye of the Mech, got on my dragon, and headed off. And I still wasn't exactly sure where this was taking me.
Okay, so it's further. No.
And then when I got to where it was taking me, I dug down until I finally came across what I was looking for. I still had no clue what this place was called.
I think I found the boss.
So I explored it for a minute until I realized the boss needed a wither star to even spawn.
What are you? Yeah, it's not. Jesus. Okay, well, I killed him. Pretty sure that's him, because it looks like it's sleeping. I have to kill the wither to fight him. Find another eye now.
And then I TP'd back to my base on the later half of day 40. And since I didn't have a wither star yet, I decided it was time to explore another dimension, this time the Twilight Forest. So on the beginning of day 41, I threw the diamond in my new built portal and TP'd into the Twilight Forest.
Jesus. Defeat the Naga. Blank magic map? Sweet.
Having literally no clue what I was doing here, I decided to just fly around and look at some structures. The first thing I came across was the questing ram. And since I couldn't find him anywhere in my quest log, I decided to kill him, assuming that he dropped something.
I'm sorry.
He didn't.
It did nothing.
So I took off and came across this other structure, and I couldn't even go to it yet because of these weird yellow boxes around it. So I looked at the quest log and realized the first place I have to go was a maze so I could fight a snake called Naga.
Entrance to this? Oh yeah, this is Naga. Ah! Come, Naga! Oh my god, what the hell? Big snake. Die, Naga! Come on. Oh, this is the one right here. Oh, there you go.
After defeating Naga, I went to this
Oh,
big floating
hello,
island because I
floating
thought
island.
maybe this was the next place I could go, but it wasn't.
What the?
And then I realized the
still
next
off
place I
limits?
could go was this castle, so I headed inside. The first interesting room I came
So,
across was a
they're, like, super
library
tall,
type thing
and I
with
might not.
living books that wouldn't stop spitting
Yeah,
at me.
totally.
And then I found myself in the main tower, where it was a spiral staircase heading all the way up to the top.
I understand that is your girlfriend, bro.
And then I found a
Pet
jail room with
zombies.
pretty much nothing
Oh,
in
wow,
it,
hold on.
and began to head back up the tower
Okay.
where I came across the main room which had the boss fight in it. So I began the fight with the Twilight Lich.
Ah. Imagine he's like crazy strong. What? I'm so confused. Alright, now I can hit him. Oh. Do I have to kill them? Oh, yeah, I definitely. I should probably kill him before he does, because I guess he gets a sword. Hooray!
With the Twilight Lich dead, I collected the loot, which was nothing significant, and headed off to find the next location I could enter, which included me checking this house with a skeleton spawner, which I couldn't enter, and then coming across a giant molehill. So I dug
Is there
down
something
into
under
it,
here?
but I didn't stay in there for long because I realized that this book actually told
okay.
me exactly where I needed to
tendrils
go.
of darkness surrounding this area are just a manifestation of a protective spell over the entire dark forest. The spell causes blindness, which is quite vexing. I have seen several interesting things in the area and would like to keep exploring.
Back to the dark forest I spawned in. In the dark forest, I put down the trophy from the Twilight Lich to open up a
sorry.
door into the caverns underneath. And then I jumped in just to be attacked by some slime. After killing the slime
lot of
beetles and
health.
moving on, there was a goblin that I fought that
Oh, whoa,
split
what
into
the hell?
two after I killed him. And then I just continued going through until I found a hermit crab spawner. And after being unable to
another
naturally
hermit
find the
crab
boss room,
spawner?
I
Oh, that's
decided to
great.
just dig
Yeah,
into
down.
it and find the night
it.
phantoms.
Here we go. So hitting these guys damages him too. He's just struggling to get to me. What the hell? So I guess the objective is to dodge him. Yep, because he does a ridiculous amount of damage. I'm gonna die if he hits me. They're cornering me. Alright, this is actually scary. Pretty much cooked. So now I just need to hit him. One more. Okay, I did it. Oh my god. That was actually terrifying.
It gave me pretty good armor, but my diamond netherite was better than that already. And with the boss dead, I headed out. And then I headed into the red forest nearby
want that
so I
back.
could fight the next boss. And then I realized I could just skip the whole tower and fly up. And then at the top of the tower, I spawned the
I
year
found it.
ghast. I think that's how you say that.
It's like a ghast from hell. Well, I guess all ghasts are from hell. Holy, this guy's annoying. Oh my. Okay, I think I figured it out. So I do that, and then I come over to another one. So loud. Yes, I killed him.
With him dead,
Fiery
I got fiery tears and
Fiery
started to look into
ingot.
what I could craft, and it was some pretty cool loot, but still not better than what I had. So I headed out to find the next boss, my Yeti.
Time to kill a Yeti. He thinks he's the alpha. I have to put him in his place. Holy lag. Can I shoot him? Is he gonna die or? Oh my god. I can't. Okay. Oh my gosh, I was getting a little worried. Is it the blue ice? That. Oh.
The Yeti was probably the easiest boss so far, but with him dead, I headed off to find the next boss. In search of the boss, I headed up to this weird rainbow tower and killed a bunch of penguins because I was low on arrows. At least that's what I told myself.
Die! I'm sorry. Sorry.
So I headed up this weird rainbow tower and found the Ice Queen.
Aha! Oh, I think I know what I might have to do. Is this an unstable one? I think what I'm trying to do is hit these guys into her, maybe? Oh, no, I can hit her. I just can't hit the ice. Oh, wow, she frees me. It's snowing under her. Oh, that was really easy.
You know the drill. With the Snow Queen dead, I looked at the loot and actually got something I would use now. A tri-bow.
What, does it shoot 3 arrows? Oh.
And mined out the tower to go complete the next objective. Eat meat stroganoff. So I headed through the caverns and the swamp. After a good bit of exploring, I finally came across the Ministroom and killed him.
There he is. He didn't drop it. Oh. Yes!
Eating the meat stroganoff, I moved off to go fight the Hydra.
Hello, Hydra! Does he want me to attack him first? Oh, nope. Three-headed bow against a three-headed dragon. Yes!
The Hydra dropped a bunch more fiery tears. Then I went to go look for my portal and head back to my base, but when I couldn't find it, I just built a new one.
But I could just build my own, so we're gonna try. Oh, thank God.
And finished off day 46 by putting up my loot and going to sleep.
Alright, all the trophies and I guess...
Day 47 began with me rolling enchantments to try and get some good ones on my tri-bow. And eventually I got power 4 on Breaking 3 and Infinity. With the bow enchanted, I headed back to the Twilight and went to my next quest, which was to go on top of the giant floating cloud, where I would fight Big Me.
Did they hit me? Oh, we fighting. That's me. I'm a giant miner, I guess some would say.
Killing them gave me a giant sword and pickaxe, which I used to mine some of the house and then accidentally suffocate myself when I put a block down.
Yeah, that was just unlucky.
With the giant pickaxe in hand, I looked at my quest log and began to try to find out what exactly I had to do next. After realizing I needed a lamp of cinders, I went back to my base to see if I had already had it, and I didn't. So I went towards the area of the final boss and dug underground until I found the underground vault, which when I mined into it with the giant pickaxe, it gave me a lamp of cinders.
Oh, I should have mined this one.
And then I headed back to the surface and flew to the final castle.
Having to deal with thorns. You know.
And at the top of the tower, I realized that the final boss hadn't been added yet. So I decided to go through and explore the castle because there was really nothing else to do in the Twilight. Having completed the Twilight, I headed back to the portal and went back to the overworld.
So the Twilight is completed.
In the overworld, I did a little bit more work on my base before crafting up a few more smithing templates. And then I headed into the Nether to go netherite mining. After netherite mining for a while, I headed to the village to start a raid.
Let's start a raid. Alright, let's do it. Whoa, what the hell? I'll collect that in a second. There's so many of them. Alright, the isologers need to die first. Bro, I don't care. I'll come kill the invoker in a minute. Jesus.
I finished up the raid halfway through day 51 and went back to the base to deposit everything I
My
collected.
inventory. Also store random items.
And to finish off day 51, I TP'd back to the village and went to sleep. On day 52, I TP'd to the faraway trial chamber and dug up into the other village, where I would use my hero of the village to trade a bunch of sticks for emeralds. After getting a bunch of emeralds, I crafted up some golden apples and headed into the end. In the end, I headed back to the structure with the Ender Guardian because I finally thought I was ready to kill him.
My arch nemesis is... Alright, let's... Ah! I forgot I have to turn my audio like way down. Let's go. Ooh.
With the Ender Guardian dead, I went to explore the end just a little bit more. The first thing I came across was this end temple, which had a bunch of TNT in the bottom of it. And the loot inside the temple was actually pretty good. And then I headed back to my base and put the loot up, and went to the Nether to go back to Netherite mining. And back at my base, turned my boots and helmet to netherite gold, and went to sleep to finish off the day. I spent day 54 and 55 netherite mining. And went back to the base to turn my leggings and chest piece into netherite emerald. I pretty much did nothing important on day 56 besides go out and collect a bunch of sugarcane because I was running low on rocket. Day 57 opened with me getting a little bit more sugarcane and then going to raid a pillager outpost.
Oh. I don't need that.
Whenever I was done raiding the pillager outpost, I headed back to my base on the dragon and went to the nether throwing the Eye of the Flame because I wanted to fight another boss.
No. Okay.
Following the Eye of Flame, I came across a castle. On the first floor, I killed an ignited revenant for the burning ashes, which I needed to spawn the boss up top. And let's just say the boss fights weren't exactly getting easier.
And they give him block doing. Summon! My itchy. Oh shit. Oh god, he's damaging me. That's not cool, bro. Can I hit him? Oh my god. What the? Get your ass. Oh. Stop that. Oh my gosh. Why does it say I have 2 sets of... Oh my god. None of my... Like, half my bow hits just don't work. But the other half do for some reason. Alright, bro. I'm looking up a YouTube tutorial. Okay, yeah. So it's only when he stabs me that he heals. Alright. So if I hit him and run... At this point, I was getting a little worried, because I had no clue what was happening. I would damage the boss a lot, and then he would just fully heal. And now I'm stuck on the second stage with a healed boss. Realizing I had no clue on how to kill this boss right now, I TP'd back to my base. I looked up how to kill the boss and learned that certain attacks he would use would drain my armor's health to heal him. So I crafted up a bunch of shields just to protect myself from those attacks. And went back a little bit more prepared for the boss fight. This time starting on phase 2 of the fight with him at full health. So the only thing I should be blocking is that one sword swing. Not that. Because apparently that doesn't heal him. Only that does, but he just didn't. Let's go ahead and use grapple. And then block. This is what we block. No, bro. Yes, I did it. Oh my gosh. The boss dropped me a few fiery ingots, but I didn't really know what to craft with them yet, so I looked at the recipes and still had no clue what to craft. I mean, he gave me a bunch of gold, but that's really it. So I went back to my base and put all my gold in the furnaces, and then went back to the nether to mine some netherite. Ah. And after a lot of mining, I broke my pickaxe.
No!
So I used some of my 107 levels and enchanted a new pickaxe. And crafted up a bunch of netherite. And then made my helmet and boots netherite emerald and my chest plate netherite diamond. And combined a few pickaxes to get another fortune 3 efficiency 5 unbreaking 3 vein mining pickaxe. And put that new pickaxe to work by going netherite mining again. And when my pickaxe's durability got low, I went to the village to craft up a bunch of sticks and trade for XP. The next boss fight on my radar was the Wither, and the main reason for that was for the Wither star, which I could use to go fight the mechanical guy. So I crafted up some golden carrots to trade for 3 Wither skulls, and went to sleep on day 61, before starting day 62 going to find a spot to spawn the Wither. Spawning the Wither... Oh, hold on, let's try that again. There we go. Just eat this just in case. What the hell, bro? Come down here. I can't hit him. There we go. That was a ridiculously easy fight. After killing the Wither, I flew over to the base and headed into the Aether to fight the Valkyrie Queen. After killing a few Valkyries, I collected 10 victory medals and went to go fight the Valkyrie Queen. Ah. I feel like I'm just too overpowered for a lot of these bosses now. Let's see the sword. Yeah, the sword's definitely harder. The main piece of loot that I wanted to point out from the Valkyrie Queen was this shovel that gave me extra reach. And being that I didn't have a shovel, I enchanted it and went to sleep to finish off day 63. Alright.
Day 64, I collected a little bit more sugarcane because I was almost out of rockets again. And then I followed the eye of the mech again, flying on my dragon, to go back to where the mechanical wither guy was. I didn't know what I was getting myself into yet, so I put a waystone down before I spawned him. And as day 65 began, I spawned the Harbinger.
Oh my gosh, of course it's super loud again. Since he's already this close, I might as well just use my sword. This is epic. So if he pulls out the big stops again. Oh, well, there we go.
The Harbinger dropped me a block of Witherite, which could be used to make a mechanical fusion anvil. And then using that, I can combine other weapons from Ender Cataclysm. It's a lot cooler than it sounds, I swear. So, I went back to the base and crafted a Wither Assault shoulder weapon.
I don't want to do it inside. What if it, like, blows something up?
Anyways, I wanted to craft up another eye to go to a new boss fight, and this time I needed phantom membranes, and the only place I knew to get them besides for staying awake for a few nights
that's pretty good.
was back at the end ship.
Alright, that's what I needed.
Once I had the phantom membranes, I headed back to the base and crafted up the Eye of the Curse. And then I threw the Eye of the Curse, hopped on my dragon, and went to go follow it on day 66. While flying, I actually lost my Eye of the Curse and went back and crafted another one. But not after too long, I came across the frozen castle.
Is this it? Yep.
And before heading in, I TP'd to my base and went to sleep. And I went into the castle on day 67.
Ooh. Black steel sword. Soul render. Hey. What's this? Oh my, what are you? Are you the thing I'm supposed to be fighting? The thing is, I'm just already extremely loaded. Like,
eventually, I got kind of tired of exploring the castle and just decided to fly up to the very top where I found the head of something.
What's this? Was his head supposed to be there? Okay, yeah, I'll take it because it's cool.
And at this point, I was convinced there were only mini bosses throughout the castle, so I headed down with one last hope.
And I still don't know how to open this. Maybe I put this guy's head on it or something. Oh, that is what I do. Huh. Imagine I die, like, immediately. Imagine he is insanely strong.
And so I
I'll crack
spawned
him before I wake
Maledictus
him
to
up.
begin the fight.
I woke him up, bro. He is doing damage, but nothing I can't just heal off. He's just hard to dodge. Hardest fight I've ever done.
Killing the boss, he had dropped me 3 Cursium ingots, which I used to craft a soul render.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, I spawned the boss, but since I didn't feel like fighting him, I just flew out. At some point, I grabbed my Eye of the Abyss and began to head off to find the sunken city. On the way, I came across a pillager ship.
Hey guys, I just wanted to come help. I saw you crashed. Ha, tricked you. They have healing arrows?
And then I came across what I think was a giant bathhouse. Kind of like the thing from Spirited Away. And obviously, I had to explore it.
Wait, I want to do this.
Heading inside, there were wither skeletons that actually posed a decent threat to me, more so than some of the bosses have. And then I came across a spider jockey spawner. After a little longer, I came across upside down wither skeletons with bows. And after a little bit longer of fighting, I finally realized that this is just a trial chamber with way harder mobs. So I decided to leave and continue to follow the eye on the beginning of day 69. But before I came across a sunken city, I found this wizard tower that was cool, so I decided to go inside. The tower was cool and the inside was well decorated, but there was nothing inside of it, so I headed off to the sunken city. This is probably a good time to point out that for some reason I'm horrified terrified of going underwater in video
there it
games.
is.
That's why I never finished my Ark the Island video, but that is coming. I TP'd back to my base on the morning of day 70 and crafted up and enchanted a fishing rod because I needed some water breathing potions, and for that I would need puffer fish. I then took my fishing rod and went fishing. I probably didn't have to say that. With 2 pufferfish, I crafted up some glass bottles, filled them with water, and went to go put them in the brewing stands before realizing that I needed nether wart. And I knew exactly where to get it right next to my portal, so it didn't take long. After crafting up some water breathing, I then crafted up night vision so I could actually see when I'm underwater. And with all my potions, I TP'd back to the sunken city on day 71 to go explore. Heading inside the sunken city, there were a lot of the anglers that I fought earlier on, and had to kill a lot of them on my way through the sunken city. And then I found a treasure room with a bunch of different ore blocks inside of them. Afterwards, I came across my first Corolsus. I don't know. After I explored for a little bit, I started to look at the recipe for the ancient sacrifice because I would need it to spawn the boss. And then I headed out and back to my base to go find a heart of the sea.
Alright, there's my boat.
Dude, why are...
Yeah, heart of the sea.
Eventually, I got the Eye of the Sea and headed back. Back at the base, I crafted my mechanical fusion anvil and used it to combine a Wither Assault shoulder weapon and the Void Core.
Just tracking missile? Oh.
Afterward, I went to go my Netherite, and from this point on, decided to use my Soul Renderer as my main weapon.
Prison, we'll fight this guy.
And went to go fight Maledictus because I wanted XP, but he only gave me like 5 levels. And after not getting enough XP, I went to the village and took an ominous bottle to start a raid, but it didn't start, so I just went to sleep. And then on the morning of day 74, I went to the other village and drank another ominous bottle, and the raid actually started. Mid-fight, while I was flying around, I flew into a wall.
Yeah. Oh my god.
With the raid complete, I headed back to my base, emptied my inventory, and crafted up some rockets before going into the nether to actually get the XP I need, because my armor just kept breaking and then repairing itself during the raid. And then, once I was level 30, I went back to the base and enchanted my Soul Render. I also put mending on my Valkyrie gloves before going back to the sunken city. At the sunken city, I crafted up the abyssal sacrifice, which I would need to spawn the boss. So I headed to the boss's spawn, drank up a night vision and water breathing, and went down and spawned him.
Alright, let's do it. Back up. Alright. Lock in. Oh my god, this thing does crazy damage. Oh wow, he does a lot of damage too. Yep. He's gonna blind me maybe? Did I kill him? Oh. This is actually crazy. Oh my god, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I was doing so good too. Now he's gonna be full health. And in the harder stage. He literally just pinned me in a corner and killed me.
Anyways, I had to get some XP so I could TP back to my base.
Alright, thank god.
And after grabbing some basic gear, I had to get some more XP to TP back to the sunken city.
Is he gonna go to full health or half health? I'd give it a 6.7% chance that I'm just dead. Wait, that was kind of crazy. I like how the music is just like silent because we're underwater. Please stop pinning me. What the fuck? What do I do? Oh my god.
So yeah, I died and forgot to set my spawn back in my base again, so I had to get some more XP, go back to my base, get some more XP, and loot out before going back to the sunken city.
Alright. I killed him.
After killing the Leviathan, I got the title claw and put all of my old loots from my previous attempts into a shulker box.
Oh my
After
god, it
leaving the
goes far.
sunken city, I crafted up
Can
the blazing
craft
grips and
this,
threw them
which
in my
I
slot.
believe I just put in my glove hand.
And then I crafted up a waystone because I finally wanted to go to the other side, which is another dimension after
we
you
go.
kill the warden. So I headed off to go find an ancient city. Once I found an ancient city, I went over and spawned the warden.
Strike 3!
After seeing how much damage the warden did, I placed a waystone and headed back to my base to grab my god apple.
And then let's use our enchanted golden apple too. Let's use the gapple. God apple.
And then I headed back and kind of cheesed it. I used my wither shoulder assault weapon and just shot from a distance.
Oh, I didn't fully charge it. Hey, we just cheesed the warden.
With the warden's heart, I destroyed all the skulk veins in the portal and then opened it. And with the portal open, I headed into the other side.
Welcome to the other side.
In the other side, I found some iron and diamond ores, and then realized that I hadn't unlocked the achievement yet for killing the warden, so I really didn't know what I was supposed to do in the other side.
Okay, I think I figured it out. The reason why it didn't give me the kill is because I used this.
And I was assuming this was because I used a modded weapon, so I went back to the overworld and tried to kill it with my bow.
We're gonna bait the warden. I need the warden to stand outside my tunnel, though. See? Alright. Let's make sure we're hitting him.
After killing the warden, though, I realized that I did it with my tri-bow, another modded weapon.
Oh, I once again didn't use a thing from the right mod pack. But,
So I decided to just wing it, go into the other side, and try to find everything I would need for all of my warden upgrades. In the other side, I kept killing a bunch of shattered because I wanted to find some echo shards, but after a long time, I ended up getting none. So I went exploring to go find some other mobs in hopes that I was just wrong with what I was killing, and still just found nothing. After a while of exploring, a warden had spawned, so I flew into this slimy area before TPing back to the base. Day 79 began with me looking at the overworld quests, and the easiest one looked to be getting a backpack. I was supposed to do this forever ago, but could never find enough rabbits. So I took my dragon out until I saw some rabbits underneath me and went to kill them. After killing a few rabbits and getting enough rabbit hide, I headed back to the base and crafted up the backpack. And then, looking back at the overworld quest, I saw defeat a blemish. I don't even know why this is a quest. On my way to go find the blemish and what it actually spawned at, I went mining for like 10 minutes, because I thought it might spawn underground. Day 80 began and I found where I spawned it, and began the fight, if you can even call it that.
You are.
With the blemish dead, I flew back to the base and looked at my quest log again, and saw the next thing I wanted to tackle, defeating the sun god.
Okay.
Now with this being an Aether challenge, I headed into the Aether and looked for the thing described, an island with a bunch of golden trees on top of it, and having immediately seen it on my map, I headed over. When I got to the gold dungeon, I placed down my waystone and TP'd back to my base to finish off day 80. Day 81 began with me TPing back to the sun god and talking to him.
You serve no purpose here. I have nothing to offer for you. I'm a sun spirit, embodiment of Aether's eternal daylight. As long as I'm alive, the sun will never set on this world.
Until the fight
Oh my god,
started.
wow. Oh wow, he really does just set you on fire the whole time, doesn't he? Oh well, hopefully not the whole time. Can I not hit him? I guess not. I need to hit this at him somehow. Oh, it makes him vulnerable. And mini him vulnerable. Oh, crap. Oh, there's one. One? Alright, there's one. I did some damage. It's the end.
Killing the sun god, he dropped the sun altar and the gold key. Opening the gold treasure
upgrade.
chest, it gave me some decent stuff, but my netherite was still better than all of it. So I headed back to my portal and tried out the
When
sun
I place
altar.
this, it'll become day. Oh, wow.
And then I took it into the overworld and realized I could only use it in the
Alright,
Aether,
let's do
but it
this.
was still pretty cool. Having defeated the sun god, I was pretty much the new god of the Aether, so I went around and tried to explore to see if there was anything that I missed. But after some exploring, the only two structures I kept finding was the village and the Valkyrie Queen's monument. So I TP'd back to my base on day 82. Back at the base, I started to look at
And
what I
let's
would
make an
need to craft an
imbuing
imbuing table before I went netherite mining to finish off day 82.
Oh, shit. Just give me some... There we go, quartz.
Day 83, I wanted to craft up my imbuing table, but noticing I was short on paper, I went into the Twilight Forest to grab some.
Hooray!
Then I realized I had to use dark oak to craft it. So I went to go grab some.
let's grab one of
Anyways,
these.
once I got back to the base, I crafted up the imbuing table and looked at what it did. And the idea is that if you had two books that were too high of a level, like efficiency 5 and efficiency 5, you could combine them to get efficiency 6. So I crafted up the gem that I would need to use it. And then I noticed that the book could only have usable enchantments on it in order to imbue it. Day 84 started with me getting some more work done on my base.
Let's do this. Okay. Wait, I want to break this tree. Oh, I didn't even know there was dark oak around my base.
Right before crafting up a few end crystals
Alright,
and going to
dragon
kill the
time.
ender dragon for some more XP.
This is so stupid that I could just kill him like this.
Anyways,
Give
the fight
me
was a
my
lot easier, but the
XP.
dragon didn't end up giving me any XP. After getting no XP, I TP'd back to my base and began to search for a desert so I could find the medallion to spawn the final boss of the overworld. And I'm not gonna lie, I used chunk base to find one. And the closest one was over 10,000 blocks away, so I headed off. When I got to the desert, I collected up all the sugarcane I saw and started to dig up suspicious sand. But after finding nothing, I TP'd back to my base and went to sleep. Day 87 began with the same thing, digging up a lot of suspicious sand and finding nothing all day. So I went back to sleep and came back on day 88. On day 88, I actually spent some time exploring structures that I was finding in between digging up my suspicious sand, which continued through the first half of day 89.
None of this has anything.
Until I TP'd back to the base to craft an Eye of the Desert so I could find the pyramid. And obviously, I threw the Eye of the Desert and followed it. The first structure I came
think
across
this
was
is
a
a bathhouse,
bathhouse.
isn't it?
But after realizing the bathhouse didn't have much to offer me besides the fact that it was
Oh, yeah,
pretty
it's a
cool,
bathhouse.
I headed off to follow the eye again. Day 90 began with me continuing on my journey. On my way, I came across an underwater temple.
Oh my god. I have a feeling that I wasn't meant to be down. Do I mine down now? I really don't like the ominous sounds. Take that. Feather falling.
And then I eventually came across two floating islands that were connected.
This is something that I would love to build. And the water just gets stopped right there by the glass.
And I just continued going until eventually I came across the temple I was looking
wow.
for. And I decided I would just go ahead and explore it so I could clear it up to the boss, just in case I get the medallion soon.
What the? I'm to use the swords. Well, that's definitely like a mini boss. Jesus, oh my god, hi. Can't I craft 6 armor helmet? Oh, sweet. Oh, ow. Oh, I had to wait for a little animation to... Damn, he low-key blocked that shit.
With the whole structure cleared, I would now need the medallion to spawn the
to-
boss.
I
But since I
think
was kind of getting sick of
this
digging
is
up
a
suspicious
desert.
sand, I decided to go mining for
Alright.
day 95 through 96. Heading out of the cave on the end of day 96, I crafted up 50 diamond
50
blocks. And when I went to go
diamond
mine some more
blocks.
suspicious sand, I found a structure that was just too interesting to pass up. A
What
giant
is
temple in the
this?
desert. But I quickly realized that I was running out of time and had to find this medallion. So it was back to looking for suspicious sand. And I honestly don't even want to show these 3 days because nothing eventful happened other than me mining suspicious sand and getting nothing. But I still wanted to do the boss fight. So on day
Please.
100, I went into creative,
A
grabbed the
brick?
medallion, and spawned the boss.
The TP mid-fight, I can't have a waystone over there. Wake up, wakey wakey. Eggs in bakey. Oh. He's a dino. Does he damage you? Oh, he does. Oh, you can't hit him with a bow. Because he has so many holes and he's made of bones. Please don't break my waystone. Actually, I'll just put that up. Just in case you feel the sudden urge to. Is that the stuff that makes me like wonder randomly? This guy's easy. What? Sniffer egg. What? That's cool. Can I go in it? Oh, okay. But yeah, everything else I 100%'d. So, that was sick. Top 5 mod packs of all time. Y'all should definitely check it out.